Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm glad you could be here. You know, we are absolutely having a heat wave in Alberta, and I'm loving every minute of it, trying to figure out how I can bottle it or save it or something. Spend some time outside in the sun. That time that you spend out in the sun is boosting your vitamin D levels. So, we're going to do something today that is another one of my crazy creations. Just let me make sure. There, now we can chat. So if you have questions, if you haven't been here before, tell me where you're from. Tell me whether you're doing keto, thinking about doing keto, why you're thinking about doing keto, whatever you'd like to share. And if you have questions, ask them in the chat. Now, please know that when I'm streaming live, right now, I'm on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube all at the same time. So, if I'm answering a question that you don't see in the chat where you are, it's because we're all getting together from all over the place. Okay, Guacataca Burgers. What the heck are they? Well, they're yummy, that's what they are, but let's figure it out. This is my version of guacamole stuffed taco burgers. Okay, so let's get going. First thing you need is 2 pounds of ground beef. Now I am, almost did it again. You know, if I'm going to be touching meat, I need these, right? Yeah, really don't like touching meat. And I forgot to get my eggs out of the fridge. Oh my goodness. Okay. 1 carton of eggs. Okay, is that going to be the last snafu today? I hope so. Hello, Randy. You know, now for those of you, wherever you're watching from, we have a very special guest, someone that I adore very much. Randy Bolton is watching today, and she is absolutely, in my opinion, which is the only opinion right now this second on this side of the camera that counts, she is Alberta's most talented singer ever. And I am always honored to go and listen to her sing. And oh my goodness, if you have an opportunity, and if you're not in Central Alberta, go and look for her on YouTube or anywhere that you're listening to music. Look for Randy Bolton. You will not be sorry. Okay, so let's get this burger started. And I see my mom is here and Dell is here, and I hope all of you guys enjoy the Guacataca Burgers. Okay, so we have 2 pounds of ground beef. Now this ground beef is a little bit leaner than I would like, so we're going to fix that. Now we're adding pancetta today, and so some of the pancetta grease and the bacon grease are going to go, now this is about 2 tablespoons. It's going to go right in the burger, and that is going to help the burger stick together better. The leaner the burger is, the more difficult time you're going to have making burgers out of it, because the fat is what makes it juicy and what helps it stick together. Okay, so we have about 2 tablespoons of bacon fat go in there, and we're going to add 80 grams of onions. Now you notice I had this all done up ahead of time. And then in this bowl that I just took the onions out of, we're going to add 5 grams of TSL chili powder and 4 tablespoons of TSL taco seasoning. This just keeps getting better, doesn't it? So, and then making sure that you knew that it was TSL, taco seasoning, and chili powder, that is my shameless plug for the day. Well, not totally shameless, I guess, I don't know. Okay, so 2 eggs. Now we're mixing the eggs and the spices together, because that's going to help it more evenly incorporate into the burger when we add it there. Okay, so now we are just going to get this little fork will do. We're just going to mix this up so that we don't have any big lumps. Otherwise, you end up with a lump of spice here and a lump of spice there, and somewhere else doesn't have any spice, and you want your flavor to be even all the way around. Okay, so I want to tell you guys, while I am stirring this, I want to tell you a story. I met a lady, a lovely lady the other day, who was explaining to me that she could not do keto because she had had her gallbladder removed. Now, that absolutely isn't true. However, I understand why she felt that way. Now, when you think about your gallbladder, not that a lot of people really do until they're having problems with it, but your gallbladder is a storage vessel for bile that your liver makes, and that bile that your liver makes helps you digest fat. And since keto is a high-fat diet, if you don't have a gallbladder, it can be a bit of a challenge. Now, typically, your body will compensate for that, and it'll find a different way to store that bile in your liver. So it isn't something that you need to worry about for a long time, but it is something that you need to be aware of. If you've just had your gallbladder removed, it might not be something that you're comfortable doing right this second. So, keep that in mind. And you might have to wait 6 months before you can go full keto. You might need to keep that fat content down a little bit. This is a new world problem because 20,000 years ago, oh, Randy, I am only telling people the truth, honestly. We were honored enough to have Randy singing in Pinoca, where I live, a little while ago, and oh my goodness, it was such a treat. Okay, so 20,000 years ago, before agriculture, when people were eating a high-fat diet because that's how they lived. They were hunter-gatherers. They didn't have problems with gallbladder that were fixed with surgery. I don't know if they actually had gallstones back then. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, now you can see that I am just dumping this whole goopy mess right in here, and I'm adding to that 45 grams of Asiago pepper jack wisps. Now this is a product that I don't have my package hanging out right here, but that's all right. I buy it at Costco, and I should have mixed this. In with the spices, and I'm going to do that right now. Now, I would go and grab that thing of wisps, but my hands are kind of too gross to show it to you anyway. So, but I've showed you the other wisps that we get that are just Parmesan. Okay, now you see me giving this a massage. Okay, now let's get in here, and we're going to get this all mixed up. Now you want to keep turning the burger over because you want this mixed in really well. Now I love it when somebody that's on TV, so you can't be standing right beside them, you can't reach in and feel what they're doing, and they say mix it up but don't mix it too much, and yet here I am telling you the same thing. Okay, so we have bacon fat in there, and we have our TSL spice mix in there. And what I did not put in there is a teaspoon of salt. Okay, I'm going to have to take this glove off anyway. You know what? We're just going to put it on the burgers. It will be just fine. Now this, if you've ever mixed up burger and had stuff on the bottom and stuck in lumps, you'll see that mixing it in with that egg is helping it to incorporate very evenly into the burger. Okay, now we need to get our grill turned on because we want our grill smoking hot. So, okay. This is just going to be difficult. Usually, these are bigger gloves. I can usually get them off more easily. But right now, there we go. Right now, it's just being a little bit difficult. Okay, now we're going to turn this on high. We want these burgers just sizzly hot. Okay, now we've got that mixed up. We're going to set it aside and let those spices all get to know each other in there. And while that's happening, we are going to chop up 90 grams of cooked pancetta. Now, I bought diced pancetta, so it's kind of half chopped already. Now, let's get these out of the way. Okay. And we're just going to dump the pancetta here. Let's set this aside so you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to dump the pancetta on here, and I'm just going to dice it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't the time to be worrying about your knife skills and making sure that everything is exact. We're just dicing it up, or mincing it up, I guess, so that it's going to incorporate more easily into our guacamole that we're going to make. And I am going to need a brand new package of TSL guacamole seasoning because we're going to need that in our guac. So lucky me, still got my production crew here. So hopefully we will magically have a package of TSL guacamole mix show up here. Okay, now you'll see that this is still, it's not a fine mince. Pardon me. But it is minced up a lot smaller than the dice that we started with. So that is close enough. Now we're going to get a bowl and we're going to add the pancetta to the bowl. You can use bacon as well. So if it's bacon, it's still 90 grams of cooked bacon. And the avocado that we need, which is still in my fridge again. Okay, so we're digging around in here. Now, I want you guys to join me on Wednesday. Now, I've got a brand new bag of avocados here. And I know, oh my goodness, there we go. Need the scissors to open this. I know that this bag is ripe because I made sure when I bought it that it was. So just set this over here. And look at this, magically there's some TSL guacamole mix. Okay, now if you guys are wanting to know where you can get your own TSL spices, on Wednesday, 15th, 16th, Wednesday the 18th? Yeah, Wednesday the 18th. I will be in Wetaskiwin, Alberta, at the local farmers market, and I will have my line up there. And then on Thursday the 19th, I will be in Innisfail, Alberta. So if you are in central Alberta, whether you live here or you're traveling through, please stop in and see me. The farmers market in Wetaskiwin is from 3 until 7 in the afternoon, and in Innisfail it's from 10 until 1 in the morning. Well, 10 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. Okay, did you guys see how I just got that pit out of the avocado? Did you see that? Now, if you don't eat avocados very much, just a whack with the knife. You should have a cloth between the knife and your hand. But I didn't this time. Okay, now I am going to show you the easiest way. Now let me use my cloth here because I really don't want to cut my hand. Okay, easiest way to cut up an avocado is just to leave it in the shell. You do not need to peel it first because a smaller knife is maybe going to be a little bit easier for you. But this is absolutely my favorite knife. I love this knife. Use it all the time. Sharpen it every day. Okay, so we're gonna, now you can see, set this one aside. You can see that I am cutting these slices in here very thin. We're gonna add this to the burger just in chunks, or to the filling for the burger just in chunks. And look at me go without cutting myself. I cut myself twice, 3 times actually the other day. Now, we're gonna scoop this avocado out of the shell, right into the bowl. Now this is a beautiful ripe avocado, so it's just coming out in a dice, kind of like onion does when you dice it up. Speaking of which, I want to show you something. Now if you're ever working with kids, this will be an awesome trick, because onions are such a pain for a lot of people to peel. And I saved half of my onion this morning so I could show you this. Okay, we're gonna step away from our mix for a second. Now when you have an onion and you're going to dice it up or slice it up or whatever you're doing to it, you see I've got a little bit of mess on my wrist from the burger. Cut your onion in half. So from the top to the root, cut the top off, cut it in half. Make sure you have a little bit of the root here, because when you peel it, let me peel this for you. When you peel it, if you cut the whole root off, it'll fall apart when you start cutting it. But if you leave that little bit of root on, I had something flash up on my screen I just had to fix. When we start cutting it this way and then this way, that little piece of root holds the onion together. So, and yes, thank you, Del. I will also be in Lacombe on Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have all kinds of opportunity to stock up on TSL spices. And now I'm going to say something that I guess maybe makes me kind of a crappy salesperson, I don't know, but check your spice cupboard. If you have lots of whatever spice in your cupboard, I don't want you to come and buy it from me just to try out the TSL spices. Spices have a shelf life in your cupboard, and once they're a year old, year and a half old, they start losing their oomph. Their scent and their flavor is diminished. So, okay, I'm going to grab a fork. And the other half of our avocado, so this takes a whole avocado. Take the little stem from the avocado out. The other half of the avocado we're going to mash right in the shell. Now, if you want some guacamole at home, and I do this all the time, Del and I will share an avocado, and he likes his diced in his salad. I like mine as guacamole, so he just wants diced avocado. I want guac. So I mash it right in the shell. I add as much guacamole seasoning as I want for the avocado that I've mashed in my shell, and I add a little bit of lime juice or lime crystals. Today we're using lime crystals. And mix it up, and there you have guacamole in the shell. You throw the dishes away. But today we need it in our filling. So now that it's all mashed, we're just going to scoop it out in here. This grill is going to be just perfectly hot when we're ready for it. And throw that into the compost. Okay, now we are going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Maybe not half a teaspoon. There's actually a fair amount of salt in the guacamole seasoning, so you don't need lots and lots of salt, so just a wee bit. Do it to taste. Now this part, because this isn't raw, the pancetta is cooked, the avocado is wonderful, raw or hot. You can do a taste test and just do it to taste. So I'm just putting in a heaping teaspoon, which is probably, I don't know, half, 3/4 of a tablespoon. I am not being exact with that because it doesn't matter. It is to taste. And when you are cooking, if you're baking, that's a totally different thing. If your proportions aren't right for some things, especially if you're not keto and you're working with finicky things like wheat flour and gluten and all that kind of stuff. But with this is absolutely to taste, and we are also going to add 1 package of True Lime dehydrated lime crystals, and that's just going to give it a little bit of zip. Now, if you have some dried peppers or some garlic, you can put that in there as well. We're going to leave those out today, and mostly because I know that Del is not a real fan of hot, spicy food. So here we go with our filling. Yep, that's good. And now we are adding, 80 grams of shredded cheese. And we're just, now let's get rid of some of our dishes here. Okay. So we have our cheese, we have our pancetta or bacon, whichever you're using. So this is a bacon cheeseburger that's kind of inside out, I guess. And we get this all mixed up. Now, let's make our burgers and get them on the grill. Now we want about 75 grams of our burger mix on each side because we're doing a stuffed burger. And that's part of the reason why adding the bacon fat to it and adding the eggs to it was important, because that's going to be the glue that holds the burger together. So let me get my, I don't like to touch meat mitts back on. I'm a little better with that than I used to be, but still not. I don't really see a reason to try and get past that, so I guess that's why. Okay. It is yummy, Randy. I wish you could be here to taste it. Okay, now, zero your scale. And we want 75 grams. And I know that doesn't sound like very much, but it is, I promise. Okay, so that looks like a little teeny burger, but it is still more than we need. Now, I tried this when I first started doing this. I tried making different sizes of burgers, and honestly, this is the one that worked out the best. It stuck together the best. Now, once you get it flattened out into a burger, and you want it fairly thin, take about a tablespoon or 2, however much you like. Put it in the center. Let's grab a little bit more. Now, if you have leftover stuffing, that's a bonus because you just put it on your plate when you're eating. And that's 72 grams. That is 75 grams. Okay, now we'll set this one down. And we'll start flattening this out. I'll put it over top of the guac. Did you see how I did that? Okay, over top of the guac. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a burger that is not all wimpy on the edges. Use your thumb. Put your thumb on the side of the burger as you're patting it down. We're just pushing it with our thumb. Now this is going to keep the edge of your burger thicker, and it's also going to help this burger seal together. Okay, now, you know I have a whole lot more burgers here to make, but I am going to be doing those on the barbecue a little later today. So for right now, let's get this one on the George Foreman grill, and we'll turn the camera just a wee bit so that you can see what's happening here. Now, when you put that on the grill, firstly, I'm going to get rid of the mitts. Okay, into the garbage they go. Now, let's get this cleaned up because we're going to have a burger to fix here. Now, if you're having a burger and you're doing keto and you haven't made any keto hamburger buns, or maybe you don't want to spend any part of your carb budget on a bun, what do you do with your burger? for me, I go out to the garden and I pick some lettuce leaves. So this is, I was very lucky earlier this year. I had a friend give me some romaine lettuce plants, and that has been such a bonus. Okay, now we are just going to grab our spatula. See? There, just dropped a hook off my pot rack. We'll get that in a little while. Now, this has only been on here for a minute. There's no way that it's ready to turn just yet. You guys want a closer look at this? Are you jealous yet? Even I'm a little bit jealous because I can't eat this right now. It's not. Okay, I'm just going to turn that because we want those grill marks. Now, George Foreman, you know, okay, I got to tell you, if you have a George Foreman grill and you want to use your George Foreman grill, absolutely, by all means. Now this, one of the things about a George Foreman grill is that it does its very best to squish the fat out of whatever it is you're cooking. And we want to keep the fat in. And with burgers, that fat that stays in, that's what makes it juicy and yummy and wonderful. And today, especially because we have the fat from the bacon, or pancetta, whatever you're putting in. We've got fat from the shredded cheese. We've got fat from the avocado. And we've got the wee bit of fat that was actually in the burger, as well as fat from the eggs and fat from the Asiago wisps. Now, my hands are clean. Would you like to see the Asiago wisps that I ground up and put in there? Now you can see that it is squeezing out our yumminess already, and I don't like that, so we are gonna stop it. Now this is one of the things about doing it on the grill outside. Yeah, this, you know, I had this heating up, and it is just not gonna work quite the way I hoped, but one way or the other. Yeah, okay, so avocado, guacamole, Guacataca Burgers, the taco seasoning and the guacamole and everything that we have in here, you want to do this on the grill outside. So join me on Fridays. Now things have changed up a little bit here. On Fridays, we are going to be meeting at 4 o'clock. I'm going to move this over. Hopefully it'll brown a little bit because it was just squishing all our yumminess out. So we're going to do 4 o'clock on Fridays because from 9 until 1, I'm at the Lacombe Farmers Market. So feel free to stop by if you have questions about keto, if you have questions about spices. If I don't know the answer, I will find an answer for you. Or join me here at 4 in the afternoon, and we will, if the weather is nice enough, and it's supposed to be, we will be outside at the barbecue. I am going to make this happen. Being outside at the barbecue at 10 o'clock in the morning, well, Tyler, you guys now have the recipe, so I have somebody on Facebook saying, you're making me hungry, you're making my fiance hungry. So yeah, you have the recipe now. This is just absolutely not going to give the grill marks that we wanted because we started cooking it wrong in the first place, not quite hot enough. But whether it has those beautiful grill marks on it or not, it's still going to taste amazing. So 75 grams of burger on each side, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you put it together, that's a 150 gram burger, and when you think about it, that's a 5-ounce burger, but you also have that filling in the middle. And while it's cooking, you want that filling in the middle to be getting hot and creamy and yummy and just a whole bunch of awesomeness. Now we are at 10:30, and let's see, I'm just going to cut this open. You know, I am just really wishing that we could have done this on the grill outside today. Should we do these again on Friday? I don't know. We'll see. We'll do some kind of a burger on Friday. It won't be these ones, but we will. And as much as these look like they're more boiled than fried, it is pretty close to being done. So People who are missing their gallbladder, please don't give up on keto. Don't give up on your health. Don't go with dangerous nutrition advice that has you eating boatloads of carbs just because somebody said your body can't process fat. You can get digestive enzymes that will process that fat for you, and your body, you know, in 2012 when Dell had his heart attack, they told him that he had 50 to 80% blockages in a couple of arteries in his heart where they did not put a stent. They only put in one stent. And they said they weren't worried about it because it wasn't in a major area of his heart, and they said your body will reroute that. It builds new blood vessels. It uses, I don't know how it does it. Our body is such a magical thing. And when we went and had our coronary artery calcification scan done 2 years ago now, guess what they found? That's totally what had happened, because his heart disease is totally reversed. So, does that happen for everyone? No. We were lucky that there was no permanent damage done to his heart when he had his heart attack. Not everyone is that lucky. You do need to include your doctor in your journey, and if your doctor is not interested in learning about the benefits of keto, want to see what's going on in here? Then find a doctor who is. Now you can see that I've squished out the yumminess. That is not okay. But this burger is done. And you're not going to get to see how beautiful it is in the center. Well, maybe a little bit. I will show you. Now, remember the lettuce leaves that we were talking about? Because I know you guys want to get busy and live your Sunday. Okay, now, in the interest of saving time, oops, I am just going to use half of this burger. Put it in the lettuce. Okay, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Okay, but we'll roll with it. There we go. And we lettuce wrap it. And now you have this little pocket of yumminess, and you can still see the creamy wonderfulness that's in there. Okay, taste test. Should we do this? And are you still jealous, Tyler? You guys can do this afternoon if you've got the stuff at home. If not, maybe it's time to go to the grocery store. You get the spicy taco flavor from the taco seasoning and chili powder in the burger. You get that little bit of heat from those two spices and the guacamole spice that we've got in there, and the creaminess of the avocado. This is just yummy, even though it doesn't have those beautiful grill marks on it. And almost no carbs. Really, there's like next to nothing for carbs in avocados. There's no carbs in the meat, virtually no carbs in the cheese. So when you are trying to figure out today what it is that you want to do for supper, you might want to keep this in mind, because Guacataca Burgers with TSL spices will have everybody jealous that they weren't there to have supper with you. Okay, I am going to let all of you go. I am going to try and wipe my hands here. I'm going to let all of you go and get the rest of this put away so that we can have it for our supper later. If you are wanting true lime crystals, and that's the lime that I used in my guac today just because I didn't want extra moisture. If you're wanting some of that, just 1 second here. Let's do this. There we go. If you are wanting some of that, you can get it on Amazon. So look for it. These true lime crystals, you can get true lemon crystals. Make sure that you get the little 2-gram packets, because they have other products that have sugar. Those do not. Okay, it is 10:36-ish, 10:35. I want all of you to do your very best to live your best version of this shining life. Get out, enjoy the sun, build some vitamin D. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go check my garden, and I might have to pick some more lettuce for tonight. Have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me. So This Shining Life is going to do Facebook Live Sunday morning, 10 a.m., Wednesday morning, 10 a.m., Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Bring your friends, bring your family, and feel free to send a link for this, or send your friends and family, anyone that you think might benefit from having a healthier diet to help reverse or at least slow down significantly any health problems that they're having. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on Wednesday.